We've come down to the South Lakes area, and there's a little bit of nice light around, hoping to get some decent shots as the evening closes in, and I think it's going to be colour. I've been tempted by this scene with this path moving in through the frame and this tree here, but it's not enough. This is a little bit heavy on the right hand side, this tree. The background lighting's lovely, sky's pretty, but again, is it just a pretty shot? I don't think it's for me, to be honest. Similarly with this one, it's very nice, but yeah, again, it's not grabbing me. I can't see myself getting excited when I look at it later in Lightroom, so I will pass on it. See, the problem with this location is there's nothing wrong with it. It's beautiful, but I've shot here many times before and I've got images in better light than this. I may take one as a reference shot again for the future, but I've been here before. I have no doubt I'll come here again. Now, there is actually one angle I've shot this from before which I thought was very nice indeed. It took a sort of 2:1 crop. Shot it with 4x5. I think I may have done a video on it years ago. So I'm just going to head back over that way and see if I can take a colour one, because the light is in the right position for that particular shot. And yeah, last time it was black and white, so it may well work in colour. Oh, after much slogging, I think I've arrived. I'm not sure the light's right though, it's a bit strong over here. This is the shot I'm after though, I will preview it. Actually, just cancel that. This tree is very nice. This tree is well lit. This tree would look better from up here, sort of in the foreground, maybe off to the left. So I'm just going to hop over the fence or go around and land myself up on this bank here to put myself slightly higher up and put that interesting element in the foreground if I can. I've actually come up higher than I anticipated. That foreground tree, it's actually dropped out the light now anyway, but I don't think it was working. It was a bit strong on the bottom left of the composition. So I've excluded it, but I've included the roadway in this one. Now, the road is absolutely beautiful, windy little country road. And it leads you into the frame, bit of a cliche, but the mountains are fantastic. In fact, the lights just popped up again. Absolutely amazingly beautiful light. I'm just going to take another one. Fantastic. And yeah, it's about 50mm. It's just the way I see things, I suppose. Probably could get away with bringing the primes next time.
Well, this first one represents a good stab at getting a composition from this location. I don't think I've refined it sufficiently, as we'll see in later shots, but it's a good start. The roadway is quite nice leading in. The mountain light is good. Could do with a bit more separation, I think, with those trees maybe.
I'm actually going to try and get that tree, that tree. I don't know if it'll work, but if I move and maybe bring it lower in the frame, it could work. It's just getting cut off by a bank though. This bank here is just cutting it off a little bit. It's spoiling it. Never mind. I've just realised what it needs to work. It needs a square crop. Surprise, surprise. But the light is dipping over the hill, so I haven't got long to work. And I've moved to a position where the tree is pretty much front and centre on a beautiful twisty lane, so here goes. Well, I have just got it in time. Apologies for not including you there. I have got a beautiful scene now with the road flowing in. It's going to be a square crop. It'd actually get away with a rectangular crop though, to be fair. In fact, it would actually look nice with a rectangular crop. F13. I've actually bracketed this because the sky is very bright and I could always blend that in later, but I'm very pleased. The sun has gone off the tree, but that doesn't actually spoil it. So that's the composition. Road going in, tree, mountain, everything's contained within the ridge line of the mountain. Wonderful cloud, wonderful lighting on the far side of the mountain. I could say I could probably get away with it being the vertical crop or a square. I've envisaged it as a square, but I will hold judgment till later.
Now, I do think the square crop suits this image far better than the rectangular vertical crop. But I do think it's a work in progress. Now, I like the three trees, I like the boulder, I like the way the fence goes into the scene, but it's not quite as effective as I'd hoped. I think the roadway is probably a little bit too dominant on the bottom left. So, yeah, it's a case of try again.
I mean, we're probably around about peak light now, so I have bolted on the long lens and I'm taking some pictures of the mountains in the distance, excluding all foreground because the sun is on them. Still love the foreground tree here, of course, but I think I've got the best of it. I am going to remain in this position or hereabouts. I'm not going to yomp off anywhere.
Now this one may represent a bit of an opportunity lost, because I think there was more I could have done with that distant mountainside had I taken my time, and perhaps this is a bit of a tight crop really, maybe back out a bit.
I've just moved up the hill, taking a few more shots, getting a square format shot again with a tree in the right hand, bottom of the frame, mountains in the background, 80mm or so. The light changing so quick. I mean, my sun is about to be snuffed out by this mountain line here, and once that happens this foreground will go into shadow. Maybe some nice light on the main mountains in the background there, the Langdales, but I am working quickly. Got this tree in the bottom right hand corner. It's a square crop again, surprise surprise, and I think it works well. It balances it. Possibly not as good as the tree down there, that tree down there, which is totally dark now and you just couldn't shoot it.
Now overall this represents, I think, the best effort from my shots of the hillside. I think it's got the best balance, it's got the best composition, it has a nicer flow to it. Still not perfect though. I think the foliage on the tree needs to be a bit brighter to separate it from the hillside, but not a bad last effort, I think.
So I think I'm all but done, so thank you for coming along. Hope you enjoyed the colour images, and I'll see you again on the next trip.